Well, good morning, everybody. Lots to cover today. Always is, isn't there? Always symbolism emerging in our reality. If for those of you that have not heard yet, Matthew Perry from Friends, of course, was found dead at 54 years old. They're saying that he drowned in a hot tub, had a heart attack. We'll get into some of that symbolism. And we're also going to get into a new phenomenon called microplastics. And they're saying these are being found in the blood and in the heart. And now they're disclosing this. Now, for those of us that already know about this, we know that what they're really talking about is Morgellons. So, you know this isn't new, but they're trying to reframe this. And we'll talk about that debate as well and what they're saying is happening. Also got some new bear attacks for you today. And, of course, U2 and Lady Gaga team up at the Sphere. And I told you the Sphere wasn't going away, that it would be front and center in the world as a symbol of basically a graphene molecule. That's what it really represents, a black sphere, the infective agent. Many of you will remember from the franchise, the Alien franchise, where all it took was a single drop of black goo to infect the people on the ship in the Prometheus and Alien Covenant series. That's what the Sphere is. It's the infective agent. So, we'll show you Lady Gaga on U2, and Morgan Freeman apparently went on The View and said that the world is about to end. He then got exited, kicked off the show. We'll talk about all that drama going on with that and what that might mean as well. Now, why do we cover this stuff? Sometimes I have to remind some people, because this is programming the rest of the people watching it. Not that we're watching it and thinking, trying to anticipate everything. No, this is about the rest of the world being programmed. And if you can watch that, you will see what the enemy is planning. I remember 6 years ago, we were talking about the Electric Kingdom, and everyone thought I was silly. They're like, why are you playing that old rap song, The Electric Kingdom? What are you on about? What are you talking about? And here we are 5 years later, and we see exactly what we were talking about, that they're trying to electrify everything, even though the market is not asking for it, because the Electric Kingdom is the system of control. This is how they will control people, turning on and off parts of the grid that they deem a threat to the quote-unquote democracy, right? So that's all coming. So we'll talk about Morgan Freeman, and astronomers are now saying that some of the stars are missing. And you have to ask yourself, have a third of the stars already fallen from heaven, as Revelation said it would? So we'll look at that as well. And finally, an update on this dating idea that I came up with. And we'll just go ahead and start with that. Get that out of the way. Now, there was a lot of confusion and misunderstanding, which leads me to believe that this whole idea of doing a show, it wasn't an app or anything like that. A lot of people thought I was going to make an app or a dating website. No. Someone already tried that. This has nothing to do with that. This isn't a way to make money. This was going to be a free thing that we were just trying to match people up. And a lot of people got triggered by that. I don't know why. Some kind of spirit came out of people. They got threatened. There was all kinds of stuff going on. People thought I was telling men to lie about their age. That wasn't the point. The point was an icebreaker. Of course, you're going to tell someone your real age when they reach out to you. You can't hide something like that. It was an icebreaker. Some people got triggered. Not a lot of people, but some. And it made me realize that there's a lot of toxicity out there. And so, for you lonely men and women out there, as good Christians, you will find each other. I would hope that God would not forsake marriage in the last days. It says that they will be forsaking marriage in the last days. We don't want to be part of that group. So I have to believe, and I have to go on faith, that there is someone for these good men out here and good women. So I thought, okay, how are we going to do this without me being in the middle of it? Because that's what people got upset about. And my suggestion would be to carry on as you are. Maybe add your email to your YouTube channel. There's a way you can do that. If you don't want to give out your personal information, just set up a separate email so that people can contact you. And this goes for men and women both. And of course, just keep walking the walk. And the right person who wants to get to know who you are based on what they see on how you're living your life on your YouTube channel might want to reach out to you and email you and start a conversation. And maybe you can upload some videos about your thoughts on God. If you're a male or female, talk about the end times or how you're preparing in these last days or how much you love the Lord. And that's about all I can suggest at this point. For those of you out there, I mean, we're all here on YouTube. If you put an email on your page, someone can contact you if they're single. And heck, you might as well just say you're single on there and you are looking for a mate. I mean, you pretty much have to spell it out these days for people. Because people get the wrong impressions all the time, don't they? Sometimes a person will reach out to me and I'm thinking they might be interested, and then I find out they're married. And I'm like, oh, well, it just goes to show you can get the wrong impression very quickly when you get attention. A lot of us go through this life and just don't get a lot of attention, right? The tide has kind of turned. Men of average looks can get on and put a picture of himself up and basically go through life without anyone talking to him, any female getting in contact with him. But then it seems like when a woman puts her profile picture on there, she gets approached pretty often and at least asked about her status. And it's kind of sad. I don't know how that happened, but it's just the way it is now, isn't it? And so I was just trying to come up with an idea that would kind of even the odds, guys putting their best foot forward out there, put their picture up and their email. And if a female was interested in contacting them, that was the whole point of it. And a lot of people got triggered by that. So we are not doing that, just so you know. All right. And we're putting it back on you guys to just do whatever you can or whatever. A lot of people were just like, I'm married to Jesus. I'm single. Okay. I guess that's a path too. So here we are. Now, let's get into Matthew Perry. What happened to Matthew Perry? Let's read about this. This is crazy. So he was only 54 years old. He just died. I guess this was yesterday. Yeah, this was last night or yesterday. Now, obviously, he had a long history of damaging his heart. He had multiple surgeries, and I feel like every time you go under, that does something to your mind and body connection and maybe even your heart. He almost died once already. He was smoking and did a lot of drugs, self-admittedly. So there was some stress on his heart, right? So it's not a huge surprise that this happened. But we're going to talk about this heart thing. And the Bible says that men's hearts will fail them out of fear in the last days. Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened here, but it's just a general theme of the heart that just keeps coming up over and over again. Now, I had just watched another episode of The Fall of the House of Usher last night. And that particular episode that I watched, they play the famous song, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Just before a black lover opens her girlfriend's chest and inserts an artificial heart after she killed her. So this is obviously Tlaloc sacrifice, isn't it? The black woman represents the moon, the white woman the sun. There's your eclipse. And during the eclipses, every 52 years, there was the burning heart ceremony. The next one's coming up in 2027. And they've even got her head shaved, like the moon. This is crazy, you guys. There's some symbolism here, isn't there? Going back to the sun and the moon, eclipses, Apollo, the sun god, Artemis, the moon goddess, the disease and the cure. So this makes you wonder. Let's read about what happened to Matthew Perry. he has died. Found in a Los Angeles area home where he had appeared to have drowned. No official cause of death has been released. And then they talk about his whole history, how he became famous. Now, someone had mentioned that his very first scene in the Friends series was him spitting out water, which would be kind of cryptic because that's how he died, right? Now, I'm not going to speculate on that. I have not seen that scene, but if that is true, that would be very ironic, wouldn't it? Look at all the comments. Now, everybody was behind this guy through his struggles. He did opiates. He had an opiate addiction, which caused him to essentially not be able to go to the bathroom. And his colon burst. There was all kinds of history. He had multiple stomach surgeries. So this guy had some demons. He was struggling. And I feel sorry for people like this. You know, it's easy to judge these people. Obviously, many of them are serving the enemy. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't pray for our enemies, especially when you see pain and suffering. So, this guy met his end. Now, let me check in with you guys, and we'll get into some other stuff today. I think we should probably get into what we want to call Morgelloplastics, which is basically Morgellons, and they are now coming up with this, and they've got a cover story for it. Now, everyone in our community knows about Morgellons. Many of you have suffered from this from time to time. Some have had their entire bodies taken over by what they believe to be tiny microfibers or pieces of plastic that seem to react with the body. And some of us believe that these are some kind of sensor or a bioweapon or something in the body that is causing this, that has been contracted somewhere from the environment. And it's hard to say exactly what these things are. There's lots of theories about it, but this is a very real phenomenon for a lot of people. Well, here's what's going on now. The mainstream is now disclosing that this is real, except not in the way that you might think. They're trying to reframe the Morgellons discussion in their own image. How are they doing that? They're weaponizing it. They're calling it microplastics. Now, they are now saying that the cause is not a bioweapon or a lab-grown synthetic pathogen. They are saying it's from pollution in water bottles that leak into the groundwater. Now, this is silly, of course, on its face, but this is what they're saying. Morgelloplastics. Now, in this particular article, scientists make concerning discovery deep inside cave that's been closed off for decades. So, of course, the messaging here is, oh, it's in the groundwater. Cave explorers have sought many things from treasure to mineral veins and mummies. One group of cave explorers, however, went searching for something much less exciting: microplastics. A recent article in Vice reports that an expedition team of scientists led by Elizabeth Hassenmuller, Associate Director of the Water Access Technology, Environment and Resources Institute of St. Louis, found high levels of plastic pollution in a Missouri cave system that has been closed to the public for 30 years. So, they're now saying that deep within the earth, in a hidden cave, they found microplastics. Again, not sure if I believe this, but this is what they're saying. So they're introducing this concept so that later, when it all hits the fan, they can say, oh, it's from your own pollution. It's from the bottles that we gave you, that we made, that we told you not to use, that you used anyway and they ended up in the ocean, but we still kept making them for you to drink your water out of. Really? Now, you have to wonder if these microplastics are something else. Nanotech, hidden in something that they gave everybody already. Some kind of nanotech that might be able to be activated later. Now, there is such a thing as scalable nanoplastic electronics. Now, I'm in the midst of researching all this, but these are self-organizing plastic electronic nanostructures. And if they found a way to introduce this into a human being, then these plastics can self-organize into whatever they want them to organize into. And this makes you wonder, are we headed for a Barbie world? Remember that song? It's a Barbie world. Life in plastic. It's fantastic. The Stepford Wives. Makes you wonder. Now, here's an actual article on these microplastics, nanoelectronics, emerging technologies of plastic carbon nanoelectronics. This review paper describes various emerging technologies and relevant physical issues in plastic nanoelectronics using carbonaceous materials. Examples range from mechanically flexible carbon nanotube thin film transistors, flexible energy storage devices, electronic textile, multifunctional and responsive elastomers. Now, this is all fallen angel technology, just so you know, okay? The devil has been ferreting out these technologies since the Industrial Revolution, and maybe even before that. Slowly trickling it out, showing these scientists and chemists how to basically create marketable materials out of nothing. And of course, that's like giving someone a paycheck, isn't it? But what these people don't realize is that these very technologies will bring about the end times. Now, here's an article of microplastics found in the human heart for the first time. How is it in the heart? Now, this other theory, they're trying to say, is from previous surgeries. Let's read this and see what this story is all about out of Forbes. Microplastics found in the human heart. I wonder if this is a video on this. That doesn't look like it. For the first time. Well, okay, we've had plastics around for a long time. Really? Like, they're just barely finding it in people's hearts? This is a case of taking a big pollution problem to heart, literally. Study published in journal of whatever for the first time found microplastics in the heart of humans undergoing cardiac surgery. Yep, while you may think that you have a heart of gold or perhaps stone, your heart may actually have microplastics in it. Oh look, they even mentioned the Barbie song here. Life in plastic is not fantastic, regardless of what the Barbie song says. Microplastics are what the word seems, very small pieces of plastic less than 5 millimeters long, and there are concerns about what microplastics could do to you and your health. So, they're disclosing this. Now, for some people, of course, their body wants to expel these things, and this is where you get into Morgellons and things like this. Now, what I think is going on here is this is a cover-up. These are cover-up stories to cover up the true cause of what is causing this. Now, let me go back in here with you. Guys, we're going to do a little comic relief. These bear attacks, you know, some of them are funny. Some of them are, like, really crazy. But others of them are funny. Look at this bear attack. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Look at this. Black bear attack captured on surveillance video. Now, first of all, why would this guy walk up to a bear? Okay, let's put the sound on here. This guy gets smacked down. Let's play this. Oh boy. Here we go. Oh, I guess there's no sound on this. Here comes the bear. That is a pretty big bear. I don't know, a couple hundred, 200-300 pounds, 400 maybe. So the bear walks in, then he walks back out. Okay. At this point, why would the man follow the bear? Maybe he thought it was a teddy bear. Let's zoom this in. Here he comes. Security guard. Security, show me your hands. You're not allowed in here. Now, I don't think the guy was hurt. Look at this. Bam! Whoa! That bear literally, like, Smacked him. That's like the bear smackdown. I can imagine the memes are going crazy with this. There's probably a bunch of people that got this in a loop. I don't know. But anyway, this was in, I guess, Aspen. Looks like a kind of a fancy hoity-toity restaurant. Oh, it's a hotel. Let's see if the guy was hurt. The St. Regis Aspen Resort in Colorado Ski Town. Now, this bear should already be, I don't know. Oh, maybe he came in for some food. He's trying to fatten up for the winter. Guess we're still in the fall, right? He's like, I need me some food. I'm hungry. And he smelled the food and walked right in the kitchen. Security guard whom Colorado Parks did not identify is seen walking into the kitchen, tracing the route that the bear had just walked. The guard was investigating reports of bear activity in the building. When he turned into a room off the kitchen and found the bear, the two surprised each other. The bear appeared to rear up on its hind legs and took a couple swipes at the guard, turned away and fell to the ground. The bear scurried off after the attack. The guard escaped to safety and called 911. Wonder if it scratched him or anything. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I thought you guys could use a little comic relief there. Here's another bear attack. I don't know. I haven't looked at this one yet. Let's take a look.
Person who actually helped him get away. How did all this go down?
Yeah, well, this is the street where this all happened. That is the house over there that the man ran to for help. And people on the street say they've been seeing a lot of bears and wildlife in this neighborhood.
Bear!
Since the houses that you see, the roofs on the other side of the fence line there, since those were all built a couple of years ago, displacing, they say, some woods that had been there.
Oh, so a couple houses displace an acre of woods, and that's the reason why bears are chasing. There's something going on, you guys. Bears have so much land to walk around in where there's no people.
Sandra Lack says she was home watching TV 2 nights ago when she got a frantic visitor.
It would look like he saw a ghost. He was scared to death, and he said, hey, can I come in your house? I just saw a bear. He's right over there. And I'm like, sure thing, come on in.
She says the man was just out for a walk when he came across the bear out on the street. He stayed.
That guy got his run in, didn't he? Uh-oh. Looks like we're buffering or something. All right. That might be the end of that story. Anyway, Mount Dora, Florida. So we're from Colorado to Florida. It doesn't seem to matter where these are. These bears are getting very bold, and they're chasing people, running after them. So something is going on, isn't it? Now, let me go back into the chat, and we'll get into some other stuff in the show today. Astronomers are now saying that a third of, well, they're not saying a third of the stars have fallen from heaven. What they're saying is they're looking at images of the night sky from decades ago, and they're comparing that with current pictures. And what they're seeing is that a significant portion of the stars are no longer shining. And so you have to ask yourself, is Revelation being fulfilled? Have a third of the stars already fallen from heaven? Let's read this. This is crazy, you guys. You can decide what all this means. Scientists puzzled by stars that disappeared from the sky. Now, this is just one section of the sky. And so obviously this is going to give us a snapshot into what exactly is going on. Let's see if they've got a cover story here. More than 70 years ago, astronomers were doing a photographic survey of the night sky when something odd happened. 3 bright stars vanished between shots, never to be seen again. As Universe Today flagged in a recent blog, a not yet peer-reviewed study by the international group of researchers has offered new potential explanations to the 1952 mystery. Wow. An astral anomaly. Here's how it went down. On July 19, 1952, Palomar was taking photos of the night sky at multiple points to get shots of things like asteroids. At 8:52 that night, it captured an image that featured a cluster of 3 star-like points of light that were as bright as the stars surrounding it, leading to the assumption that they were, stars. But by 9:45 that same night, when the observatory captured another photo of the same portion of the sky, where the cluster had been seen less than an hour before, the stars were gone. And although people keep looking, they've never seen spotted again. Now, they've got some theories on this prevailing assumption in the intervening decades has been that the stars suddenly dimmed for some as yet unknown reason. Oh, or maybe they fell from the sky like Revelation said they would. Wow. So, it's funny how science likes to ignore the Bible, especially when, things like, the Belt of Orion and the Pleiades doing exactly what the Bible said that they should do are actually being confirmed by astronomers in the night sky. It just befuddles me that people don't want to believe what the Bible says, but it's right there. So that's what's going on with the stars. This was from 1952. I don't know why they're reporting on it now, but they still, here it says, flash forward to 2023. While astronomers still don't know why the stars vanished, or indeed if they were even stars at all, this new research posits three potential explanations: that there was a single star magnified into three, that they were a different kind of stellar object, or that they had been vestiges of something earthbound, such as nuclear testing dust, or that what Revelation said about a third of the stars falling was actually correct. No, it doesn't say that part, but I had to throw that in there. Now, let's move on. Apparently, Morgan Freeman went on The View. Now, some people believe that Morgan Freeman is a truther. And look, I don't know the man, but I've just seen him in too many roles, too many demonic roles that he hasn't repented of. So he could be controlled opposition, likely. But here's what happened. He went on The View, and he said the apocalypse was here. He then was kicked off the show. Let's follow this here, because I haven't actually read through the story. Why is this on here? We don't need to know about her. We're trying to find out what's happened with Morgan Freeman. Okay, here we go. Whatever. Okay, so let's just read this. Morgan Freeman looked The View co-host dead in the eye and told him the apocalypse is coming. What is he, one of the four horsemen? Wow. The Oscar-winning actor brought a bit of a cozy fall joy to Wednesday's Hot Topic segment, stopping by to promote his new Netflix series, Life on Our Planet, which examines how Earth's life forms have evolved and adapted for eons. So there you go right there. He's pushing evolution. I'm one of those people who's very interested in this subject, life on the planet. You understand that today, life on the planet is a little bit of trouble, and we're the cause of it. So there you go. He's pushing this whole humans causing the extermination of the world. And he was referencing climate change. There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. 6 times large portions of life, not human life. We're talking just life, gone, destroyed. We're headed for another one. Scientists have said if you don't hurry up and change our ways, there's going to be a cataclysmic event that will wipe many of us off the face of the earth. Jeez. Look at the white hat. See, like the white horse of the apocalypse? So, this goes on, and then some drama happened. The View gets slammed after Whoopi Goldberg abruptly ends Morgan Freeman's interview. The View just angered many fans when their interview with Oscar winner Morgan Freeman unexpectedly ended after he was given only 6.5 minutes to talk. And it says here, people couldn't help but be enthralled with what he had to say, while the ladies were all keen on keeping him around to hear more of his thoughts on the subject. Whoopi shocked everyone when she interrupted the conversation. As she explained to the audience, producers prompted her to end the segment after they used the allotted time to speak with him on the air. I had a question, but we've run out of time, she interjected in a clip. Listen, this is extraordinary, this documentary. Please keep making all the documentaries that your fingerprints are on. So, what is this? This is PSYOP, right? It has to be. So, what he had to say was cut off. So, to hear the rest of it, you've got to tune in about climate change and global warming. So, this guy's controlled opposition confirmed. And they said a little bit of drama, and it's all intentional to make you believe what they're saying and to make you tune in to get the rest of the story. Wow. Now here's another controlled opposition. And you see these people clearly once you step outside of the right-left paradigm. You see them absolutely clearly. Elon Musk mocking Wikipedia. Now, there is an agenda afoot against Wikipedia. I'm not saying Wikipedia is perfect, but I see it all the time on my channel. I can do a comment search. I can see all the comments on my channel going back to the beginning of my channel just by simply clicking in a couple of keywords. And I can show you beyond the shadow of a doubt bots coming onto the channel with the exact same comment from multiple different accounts saying things like, oh, with the same exact wording in their comment, saying things like, I don't believe anything you say because you got your information off Wikipedia. Now, how is it that they use the exact same verbiage on dozens and dozens of different comments from different accounts? You know, the artificial intelligence might be better off, trying to mix it up a little bit, right? I mean, if it's so smart, but instead it just copies and pastes to discredit. Now, here's the more insidious type of trolling that happens on the channel. When you get a comment that says, I've been listening to you for years, but you're using Wikipedia, and so I can't believe what you're saying. Now, I've told people over and over again, Wikipedia is simply a list of footnotes. That's what it is. You can see the footnote in the Wikipedia article. Let me give you an example. Here's the Wikipedia article on Matthew Perry, right? And let's scroll down. Boom, a footnote. Okay, this references a source. In this case, MSN. Look, another footnote. References Hollywood.com, another source. That's all Wikipedia is. It's a list of sources. It's not that it can't ever be wrong, because sometimes the sources are outdated or haven't been corrected. But for the most part, you can go through here, and if there is something questionable that you don't particularly agree with, you can fact check it one by one. But to this point, after being on YouTube for 11 or 12 years, I've only had maybe 3 or 4 corrections from something that I read out of Wikipedia. Now, yes, Wikipedia can lie by omission. That is absolutely possible. By leaving part of the story out, you can tell a lie. So, they have done that, but I have yet to find factual information to be incorrect. Like I said, it's happened maybe 4 or 5 times in all the years I've been using Wikipedia. So, now you've got a controlled opposition, Musk, coming against Wikipedia, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the legitimacy of Wikipedia. Now, what is he saying here? Well, he's devolved into vulgarity to discredit Wikipedia. He's offering them $1 billion if they change their name to Bleepopedia. Now, this is silly. I had to bleep the word out, obviously, but you can fill in the blanks. Actually, I'll zoom this in so you can see it just for a second. Now, why is this billionaire so threatened by Wikipedia? Well, because they can't control the information. They can't censor Wikipedia. And Wikipedia provides, through research, lots of things that these people don't like to talk about. They want to hide behind the facts. They want to hide behind a feed. Do you notice now that YouTube used to be subscription based? In other words, you came on to YouTube and you basically made an account, you found all your favorite channels, right? And then you subscribed to them. And then you relied on YouTube to send you a notification when the people that you chose to like put a video up or some content, correct? Well, notice how YouTube's shifted that. They don't want you to trust what you like. What you like doesn't matter. What you like doesn't matter. Let us feed you what we think you want to see. And so therefore, this is what's happened. Now YouTube is feed based, and your feed may or may not include the channels you subscribe to. So if I had any recommendation for you guys, I would hop off of the recommended tab on your cell phone, mobile device, hop off of the recommended tab and go to your subscription feed. That's where you're going to get what you asked for. Don't trust these people. They're going to program you. Heck, they even subscribe you to channels you didn't even subscribe to from time to time. I've had to unsubscribe. I'm like, I didn't subscribe to that channel. They will literally do this because they literally have such a high level of narcissism that they think they know what's better for you than you do yourself. That's scary, you guys. It's mind control. It's a form of mind control, is what it is. So, what is this about? Well, they want you stuck in a feedback loop of programming. Right? Now, independent research using platforms like Wikipedia, even though it's not perfect, it's like kryptonite to pre-programming. We've done it ourselves on here, haven't we? You go on Wikipedia and you start showing people the facts, and then a picture emerges, and then it's like kryptonite to predictive programming. And they don't have an answer to that yet. Well, Elon Musk has an answer. He wants to derail Wikipedia. So there's your answer right there. So another sign that Musk is not on our side, even though he makes it sound like he is, he's not. Now let's get into U2 and Lady Gaga. Now apparently she showed up, and they're trying to pass this off as some kind of surprise visit at the Sphere in Vegas. Gaga shows up while U2 is on stage, gives an emotional 16-minute duet with Bono that includes Shallow. And I don't know what that song Shallow is, but this is silly. Now, you'll remember we just covered Gaga doing a collaboration with Metallica. Remember that song that they did before COVID ever happened? Except the song was about virus and vaccine right there in the lyrics of the song. So, this is the Gaga kiss of death. This is like confirmation of a sellout band. Pretty much everybody that she touches. Here they are on stage at the Sphere. Now, if you haven't seen our Sphere decode, I think it's about to go viral. It seems to. People are really interested in that. Because what we showed you isn't the entire concert from start to finish and all the images projected on the walls inside. Many of you saw the numbers 9/11. Of course, we saw 666 projected on the wall. We saw the Sphere basically recreating a new Earth. The black goo. Let's read this. Let me see. Maybe there's some video here. Just don't want to get in trouble for playing the song. This is crazy. Yeah, let's just turn the sound off here. What is he even saying? There he is. Weekend at Bono's. One love tonight. Okay, I'll stop. You know, some people believe Bono's good. They believe he's a Christian, and we shouldn't say anything bad about him. Makes you wonder. Well, I'm not going to play what he's saying because you could get a copyright, but let's move this out here. Let's bring it out here. See what's going on. Oh, there she is. Goo goo gaga. Here she comes. Duet. Now, a lot of people are wrapped up in emotion and talent, and they get upset when you say anything bad about people like this. He's a world diplomat. He's trying to save the world. Don't make fun of Bono. What are you doing that's positive in this world? Why are you criticizing him? You know, I don't subscribe to that. Even the devil does good things just to get the bad things passed, doesn't he? They always give stuff away or pretend to, and really it's just one big money laundering scheme to get a tax write-off. These people don't give anything away. So, I'll put a link to this so you guys can see this and everything. What else is going on as we begin to wind the show down today? Well, Bud Light is in its last gasps of life, and they get one last sellout. Dana White. You have to be kidding me. So, the UFC is now backing Bud Light. Wow. I mean, talk about out of touch. You see, they know that no matter what, some men will just never stop watching UFC, right? And in their mind, they're going to go, oh man, that's kind of lame, but I want to watch UFC still, so I'll support Bud Light. There's literally people that think that way. And so what did they do here? What's the psyop here? Well, they took the most aggressive, manly organization that they could find, And just by some chance, they were able to somehow convince Dana White to sponsor Bud Light. I mean, really? I mean, this just shows how the world works. Because obviously, UFC is going to lose a lot of market share, but they're not going to lose as much as other organizations, are they? Because there are men that just have to watch UFC fighting. So they chose the one organization that's going to retain as many men as possible so they can continue the programming. I mean, I can see this psyop a mile away. So yeah, they're going to lose some market share, but not as much as like the NFL did. Or other organizations that tried to stand behind Bud Light. Do you see the pattern yet? I hope you do. It's all focused on men. Look at all the people that came forward that men like or look up to or like to watch on TV or country music who got behind Bud Light, and it's all about the men turning us into girly boys. So, my guess is that Dana White was either threatened or paid off to pretend like he is behind Bud Light. You know, the people above this guy have a lot of power. All they got to do is turn a switch and say, oh, we're not going to allow extreme fighting anymore. And this guy's billions and millions are gone overnight. Now, check this out. Did you guys see this? Underwater tree stumps. I mean, column basalt structures. Let's play part of this here.
There are a lot of things. There's a lot of, when a volcano's going off and lava's flowing, it's got a lot of pressure in different directions.
Oh, yeah, I was there 500 billion years ago and I saw it myself. That's just how they form. It's just an act of nature.
But these are kind of interesting too.
And that's good on the up.
Whoa.
Layers within these as
Yeah,
well.
so you know, for all the columnar basalts I've seen in the field, I've never seen this kind of layering, this horizontal layer.
Perfect hexagonal structures that they're trying to say were just happen to be cooled that way by accident. And people believe this stuff.
What would cause that?
Well, again, it may be a cooling phenomena. It might be that originally, yeah. I mean, this looks like a bunch of little.
Oh, that's a highlight.
Or a tree stump that used to go up to the heavens. It got cut down by the angels. They used to connect us to the Garden of Eden. Or
Thank you, Dan. I can eat my dinner now tonight. But they weren't going to let me have dinner unless we found something nice.
What's that?
Yeah, this is really cool. It's like a bunch of pizza boxes.
I'm writing in the.
oh, of course it's pizza boxes. Wow.
Basalt as pizza boxes.
Pizza boxes.
It's incredible.
Pizza.
Pizza boxes.
Absolutely.
Very scientific observation, and I wrote the same thing.
Oh, yeah, so scientific. How about a biblical explanation? Anyway, that's what's going on. Now, where was this located? And I'll put a link to this, of course. This was Hawaii. Oh, go figure. I didn't know Hawaii had column basalt. Would make perfect sense. Now, yes, these column basalt structures seem to be centered around volcanic activity. But as we've read in a lot of ancient manuscripts, these volcanoes are very occult places where human sacrifice occurred, the cult of Tlaloc, throwing people into volcanoes. Just go watch Joe versus the Volcano and look at all the occult symbolism in that movie with Tom Hanks. We also have the Book of Og the Giant talk about volcano sacrifice as well, and that these were places where these were mountains where sacrifice had occurred, and then the earth opened up and the sulfur of the demons was present. We also have the Book of Enoch talking about the demons being locked in the earth, and that these would cause hot springs. The sulfur would cause hot springs to emerge on the earth that would cause the healing of the kings, but then it would condemn and judge their spirit. And it said there was a prophecy that when these hot springs begin to go cold around the earth, that this would mean that these spirits were released for judgment. And these would be the last days. So, here we are. And we have these column basalt structures now underwater. Look at the footage on this. These are like perfect hexagons. So, a lot more to the story than meets the eye, isn't there? Now, I saved kind of the best for last. one of you sent me this, or you told me about a pyramid in Texas. I was like, a pyramid in Texas? That's weird. Fort Davis. There is a pyramid. Now, what's weird about this is I looked this up on Google Earth and look at what I found. I drew a line from one corner of the pyramid to the other corner of the pyramid. And I tried to line it up as exactly as I could. And look at how many degrees. 322 degree heading. Which just so happened to be the same angle that that we measured the Georgia Guidestones at before they were exploded. Remember that? If you think Freemasonry isn't real, check again. These people go all the way back to ancient Egypt in the building of the pyramids. These were probably the original Freemasons that rejected the cornerstone of Jesus Christ and built their own world. With all this occult symbolism, which requires sacrifice, they build things to be destroyed. Now, is this guy who owned this a Freemason? I don't know. But I can tell you this. They're saying this thing has 2,116 square feet. Well, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. It's not 2,116, but it's close enough, isn't it? Because a 216 square foot house would be way too obvious and way too small, wouldn't it? So, this stuff is real. Now, what else is going on? I think that's about it. Let me go back into the chat and get into the chat with you guys. Good morning, everybody. I know it's a little bit early this morning. It's been raining all night and into this morning. That's good. We needed the rain. It was kind of dry, but it's kind of chilly outside, too. Let's go in here and see what you guys are up to. Good morning, everybody. So, now why a person would build that in Fort, where was that? I can't even remember anymore. Ways beyond me, because it's kind of an out of the way place out in the middle of nowhere. So you guys are getting rain in Texas too. Makana in southern Illinois. Giant City has a huge pyramid. Yes, Brian. Texas Hill Country, says Steven. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, the cold front came in pretty quickly, didn't it? All right. Yeah, my head hurts too, Lilith, when the pressure drops. I will get a headache from that. So that is true. Yes, rain in the Ozarks. Underground tunnels. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. And I'll likely see you tomorrow. I've got some more Follow the House of Usher episodes to decode. I didn't want to, the reason why I didn't put clips of what I described to you at the beginning of the show is because there was no part of those clips that wasn't graphic. And I didn't want to show you a lady with her chest open up with a heart machine in it, dead. Like, I didn't want to show you that. So I just told you about it. But if there's any more symbolism and clips that I can capture from the last 2 or 3 episodes that I still have to cover for that series, I'll definitely put them together and present that to you likely tomorrow. All right. Okay, you guys, I love each and every one of you and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.